Hey guys, Joshua Peterson, Peterson Electric. There's a second part to this video. Hopefully no one will call me again. Sorry you got interrupted. If it does, besides it, I can't do 7.5 more minutes on these videos because it takes forever for my Dropbox to download. So look for the first video. This is the second on Memorial Day, May 27th, 2019. Anyways, this is probably my least favorite part about being a homeowner. I hate sprinklers. Every damn year we have to end up changing one of those heads or 5 of them, dig them down, the roots push them up, you name it. It's just a real pain in the ass. But finally, 20 years later, I have to rebuild the whole manifold. As I was telling people, these fittings were put in 20 years ago from a sprinkler guy when I bought the house, and these are proprietary parts where you have a male, female, and I had a little split right there in the seam, and that was it. I had to rebuild the whole thing. And to recap, as I was pulling anything apart, it just seems to break. So just count on rebuilding the whole damn thing. I already showed in the other video a lot of parts you're going to need besides patience. These are good union fittings, these expansion couplings. You may or may not need them. I'm not going to use them because it's too short. By the time I build all this back, I only have so much earth and I don't want to dig it. The other thing that I'm going to do to change this to make my life easier is I took all this damn dirt out, and I'm not going to fill underneath it. I'm just going to put brick, okay, so it doesn't vibrate. But I want to be able to get to this later. Well, the way they trenched all this in, it already slopes this way. So I'm keeping my deeper box over there for this side, and I'm increasing it 2 of these man covers, and they do not have to be designed for being driven over, otherwise they're really expensive like the electrical ones. These are probably 30 bucks at Home Depot is my thought, or 35, but I'm putting in 2 more so I can get to this easier because it was this wide with 9 zones. But I got the shallow for the shallow side and the deep for the deep. I have a pre-treated piece of wood here. My wife's getting another piece. I'm going to cut it, make a box, stack it, and then I'm going to build dirt around it and secure it, and then toenail these pieces. This is where it comes out of the house and goes in here. If you don't have one of these from Home Depot, these manifold to insulate during this time of year when it gets cold, and you turn on your sprinkler, you'll be screwed. You'll be having a flood in the basement. Also, I do heat tape on mine to wrap that and keep your in-use cover shut. Keeps out wasp as well as you don't get anything heated. But when you go to put it together, I can show you more, but here's the tools you're gonna need. You have to have a Sawzall to do this. You need a fine blade, okay? Make sure you have an LED light because it gets late. I use a bandsaw. Love this, perfect fine cuts. Love this thing. Need a hammer. Gonna need a small channy and a medium channel lock wherever that went, right here. And then a big 460. If you don't have a 460 millimeter, you are not getting these things apart. This is like needing a vise. And they are glued on there. And the plastic, even though it's just tape, the plastic bonds. So you might hopefully these don't break too. That one broke. Look at that right there, so that's gonna leak. I have 2 extra of these. Hopefully none else of those break, or my wife will be going back again, or we'll be in a sprinkler store. But these get brittle too. One of these broke at the top. That little piece is probably just an adjustable for there to drain, or it's actually on off. So if it breaks off, it's already been the on position. I suppose that little piece right there at the top doesn't really matter, but it probably does to some of you sprinkler guys. It does have an on off, but that's really, you know what that is? That's just a peak hole to drain too. Hopefully that doesn't leak on that one. It broke. I'm going to reuse it. If I have to tear it apart, then I got to tear it apart again. So, but yeah, getting all these new valves, I don't think you want to do that, but you got to have a big pair of channies on that. You're going to have some hot, red hot blue glue. Then you don't have to prime and glue. This stuff is all in one. It is kind of pricey. but this shit works well. I use it on my PVC underground for electrical because I don't like how some of that cement comes apart later. You will need some radiator clamps at 1 inch, and then you need yourself a really nice ratchet reverse 5/16 head. You can use an all-in-one quarter or 5/16. I would use that definitely to get those on. Definitely gonna need one of these thin shovels and a couple other shovels, spade, and then I would definitely use this right here. Okay. Keeping that in mind, this used to slip over this valve. And if I kept twisting that through the years, that's gonna break off anyways because I'd have to stick that long tool down there and turn that. And as time went, the water was getting into the ground and it was just moving anyways, and I couldn't really get into that. So we're gonna eliminate that, take off the cover, put our hand down, open and close the valve on both sides when we go to drain it. So I'm gonna make it a little bit easier, but I'm making a box. And that way I can kneel down into it. And then I'm gonna take some insulation and wrap it. So I'll do a video when I'm getting it all together, and I'm gonna insulate it a little. Again, we don't want this rattling so it breaks apart, so we'll put some blocks underneath it or wood. But I wanna make this easy, so if I have to get back in here, I'm not spending a whole day digging it out again, and all this dirt, we'll probably end up putting it in the garden. So anyways, make sure you have a couple tarps down, okay, just to protect. This is on bark, but if you don't want to mix your grass, it will kill your grass if you leave it for weeks or even a week. So yeah, this is kind of the overview of everything. Water coming out that way, shut off valve, peacock valve.